Have you always wanted to create a beautiful tablescape for your friends and family for Thanksgiving, but always kind of didn't really know how to put it together? I know that's been me for many, many years, and I just wanted to share some tips that I came up with to share with you guys to how to create a foolproof tablescape for your Thanksgiving table that's gonna look amazing, and it comes together in like under 10 minutes, and chances are you might even have a lot of the stuff to be able to do it in your own home right now. But let's get started. First of all, you'll notice that this is a round table, so I have decided not to use a runner. I find runners on round tables can sometimes look a little bit funny because they just don't drape over the side of the table properly, which is very annoying. I could have put something in the center, but I decided to keep it bare just to really bring out this white marble table. I really don't always host people very often with this table, and I really wanted to show it off. You'll see I've got these placemats. Those are from Crate & Barrel. Everything that I talk about, I'll try to link as much of it in the description, by the way, you guys. So I started with these, natural and black placemats, and then I put these wooden chargers. I got these at West Elm. I really like the difference of sort of texture that you get with the marble, and then with the woven on top, and then you've got the wood, and then of course you've got sort of the ceramic plates. I really just love that difference in texture. My first tip for you guys that is maybe a little bit unconventional, I don't know what other people do, but I start with my place settings. Most people do that last. And the reason I do it first is because I just really want to know the space that I'm working with in the middle. I find sometimes you get a little bit carried away with the centerpiece, and you end up throwing a bunch of stuff in the middle and then get frustrated when it doesn't fit. So what I decided to do here is start with the place settings, and that way I really know kind of the requirements of the space that I have to work with in the middle. I find that goes a long way, so you're not just you're not really shoving stuff around in the middle and trying to make it work. Then I added these napkins. I kind of like what I did here. I just put them over top of the dinner plate, and then I just put the side plate over top of these cloth napkins. I just find it just kind of, again, it's just another layer of texture that I'm adding in there. And I would say that's kind of my second tip that I have learned about tablescapes, is to vary different textures and size over top of each other. So when you're kind of adding a whole bunch of different things together, it's kind of nice just to see them all play off of each other. It just makes for a really interesting tablescape, and it's not super one-dimensional. So you see now I'm adding in sort of brass metal coasters. So you're seeing metal, which is something so far I have not really added in. Something just a little bit different, playing with a different material over top, kind of different than the other things that I've already used. And again, I even go so far as to put these wine glasses on the table just because I really want to see what I'm working with. And that's probably my third tip, is also really think about the function of the table and how you want to make that work. Because remember that the point of this is not just to look pretty. You really primarily want to make sure that your dinner guests are going to enjoy themselves, and they're going to be able to see each other, and they're going to be able to talk and converse and have a conversation. And so that's why I really want to make sure they have enough room to be able to do that. And then what I did here is I just did some mason jars full of white roses. So I stripped the leaves off of the side and just cut them to the length of the mason jar. And I've added in these cream pumpkins. I've sort of gone for a little bit of a neutral cream sort of tablescape here. And that's probably my fourth tip, which is to use color as a unifying theme throughout the tablescape. So again, I'm using different sizes. So I've got some big things, a vase in the back there, which I'm using, putting some lights in. And then I've got the roses, which is another textural element. So I'm kind of adding different textures and different sizes, but I'm using color as a way to unify it, so it looks cohesive, like everything sort of looks like it's pulled together nicely. Adding like this white candle with these white pumpkins. I've got these kind of little tea light holders here. And then actually those little marble and white things are they're actually napkin holders, but I decided not to use them for napkin holders and just basically just place them in the center. They kind of have this brass, gold, and marble effect. Again, the marble working with the marble table. So the gold sort of bringing in from the coasters. And then I kind of had this little brass pair that I just sort of had around my house. Actually, to be honest, I don't even know where I found that. It's just kind of, just one of those little decor pieces you have laying around. And the pair kind of felt fitting for fall. And the brass, again, was sort of tying into some of these gold and brass elements that I kind of had using in the tablescape. So now that I've kind of moved some stuff around and sort of played with the different size and it sort of looks right to me, I'm starting to add in these eucalyptus leaves. Now you can use whatever you want here. I was going to use the rose stems, so again, stripping off or cutting them to size and then using just some of the stems. But I decided these eucalyptus leaves were maybe a little bit different and kind of wanted to use them. And again, I had them laying around the house. So I'm kind of just basically, do you guys remember that board game, the game Kerplunk? Like, you know, where you pull the little things and then try not to make the marbles fall down? I'm kind of just doing that, but in reverse. So just kind of like inserting them in different spots to make it, again, not competing with the function, like where people can't use their place settings, but just sort of bringing them in and inserting them kind of between all these different pumpkins, moving everything around to make sure that it all kind of fits. And it just kind of adds another bit of greenery, a bit more of a textural element. So I'm bringing in something a little bit more natural and green to the tablescape, which is quite nice, I think. I don't know if you guys saw a link actually at the end of the video there for the IKEA haul that I just did, where they have tons of new fall decor, which is super cool. That would have also worked really well, but you know, guys, like I just used a lot of the stuff that I already had. Like the only things that I really went out to buy were the flowers and the pumpkin. Everything else I just sort of already had lying around the house. So you'll find, like, I don't know, just kind of stick to the color scheme that maybe you already have in your space, because it's gonna work with the rest of your house anyway. So I would just really focus on, look at the stuff that you already have. And that's kind of the beauty of a tablescape to me, is that it's can be such different sizes and shapes and textures, and you know, really just kind of have fun with it and just sort of see what works. I like to work with just a couple of really big items, some smaller items, some soft items like the flowers and some metals, and just really seeing that contrast playing out. To me, I think makes for an interesting tablescape that's, you know, still unified, still cohesive, but it's going to be interesting and varied. So for me, I think a tablescape is an opportunity to really have fun, elevate your meal, make it a little bit more special, and I think that's kind of what I'm really happy with the results of what I came up with today. So now, without further ado, let me show you the final results of my beautiful tablescape. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. So let's see how it all turned out. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you want to see that IKEA video that I mentioned earlier, you can check it out right here. And I do a whole walkthrough of IKEA for fall, and you can see all their new decor pieces as well as all of their new items. So if you want to check that video out, click there, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks, bye.